Hello everyone, this is Samiran and this is my tutorial on Remote Controller Toy. This toy is actually a pretty cool toy. What it does is once a player steps on it, the player loses control of their character, and now the different keys on the controller they're using can be used by the Toy Box maker to make all sorts of effects happen instead of the character moving around. And we're going to show you a demonstration of that because that probably made zero sense whatsoever. So what we're going to do is we are going to make a little tiny game where player steps on the remote controller, and depending on the button they push, they're going to blow a ball around on the screen here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set these weather vanes to very little force, and I don't want them blowing everyone around, so I'm just going to say physics balls. Alright, now a remote controller has no properties, and it only has one possible input. We'll actually throw down a push button here just to show you the input. Now the way a remote controller works when you're sending inputs and outputs seems a little odd because you always have to pick the player first. You can force it so that each player has different controls, or you can make it so that any player that's on there, same control happens. And when you're sending input, the only thing you can do is kick a player off of the remote controller so that they're back to running around with their own character. That is the only input you can send to a remote controller. And there are no properties to set with a remote control. So we're going to go into the logic here, and we're going to make this available for all players. Now, there are a bunch of options you can set here, but they're fairly simple. Control mode activated means you've activated the remote controller. What's going to happen when you first activate the remote controller? Control mode deactivated, what happens when you step off the remote controller? And then BAYX. Now I'm on a Wii U, which is why these keys are showing up for me. Whatever your system is that you're playing on, I'm sure on the PS you probably get symbols and things like that. So I'll just tell you that on the Wii U, the X is the top action button, the A is the right one, the Y is the left one, and the B is the bottom one. And then there's your triggers, your left, your Z left, or your other trigger on the left, and then your right, your Z right. So we're going to set this up so that my X, which on the Wii U is my top button, is going to turn on that weather vane. We're going to set it so that my A, which is my right button on the Wii U, is going to turn on that weather vane. My B, which is my bottom one, turn on that one. And my Y, which is my left action button, will turn on that weather vane. Now I do want to make sure that these weather vanes will actually turn off at some point. So I'm going to put in a couple timed layers just so that when these action button or these weather vanes turn on, 1 second later they'll turn off. You can set up the game however you want, and you'll probably want to get a little more advanced than this, but this is just simple tutorial. And now I'm just going to hook it up so that when it turns on, start delay, these things default to 1 second, so when it's done, turn off the weather vane. Same thing all the way around. Alright, and that's all there is to it. I've just assigned 4 of my action buttons to moving that ball in 4 separate directions. So you just step on a remote control and you hit Y to use. And my view doesn't change because I didn't put a camera or anything up to activate when I do this. But we still see that ball alright. So I'm going to hit the left button. And we see that weather vane turn on for a second and then shut back off, and the ball is rolling left. I'll hit the right button, and the right vane just basically stopped the momentum, but here we go. We're now moving right a little bit. Now I'm going to push the down, which should bring the ball towards me. And I'll hit that button to slow it down and then bring it towards me a bit more. And then the top button should slow the dot ball down, and then if I hit it again, it's going to push it away from me and get stuck on that trigger. Now I'll move it left, push it up, push it up, push it up, and there goes that ball. It's going to roll right off the edge. And then to get off the remote controller, you just hit the minus key, which would send a control mode deactivated signal if I had one going. But that is the basic use of the remote controller. Once you go on it, you no longer have control of your character, and your action buttons and your trigger buttons you can now program to do whatever you want in your toy box. Very handy toy. This is again Cimmerian. I hope this tutorial has been useful, and have yourselves a wonderful day.